Welcome to GME Admin Insights. I'm Natasha Brox, the host of the show, and I want to start off by saying, welcome to 2024. We made it. I also want to thank you so much for your support in 2023. It means a lot to me that the GME community trusts me to listen to what I have to say and present information to you. This is a passion of mine that I've always had, and with the lack of information and resources for our community, I felt it was necessary to create this space. I've had several messages about more professional development and leadership information, as well as if I mentor or if I coach. Yes, I do. And I actively coach several people now in their professional development. Of course, it's fee-based, as well as I'm rolling out this course, in the next coming months. It's a one-on-one, either a 2 or a 5 week personalized, in-depth training course to help people take the next step in their career or just their growth in general. So their own professional development plan, more in-depth information tailored to you and your specific goals and where you want to go. Also want to let you know that I'm reformatting not only the newsletter, but the podcast as well. The newsletter will now be monthly, but I will still have the weekly podcast with 1 or 2 special guests every month. This month, I have the honor of having my APD, Dr. Ilana Mayer, on the show to talk about women in medicine and how we have it instituted in our institution. I hope that you enjoyed the podcast. And again, I want to say thank you for your support. And I hope that you like what I have to offer in 2024. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to GME Admin Insights, the podcast dedicated to the GME community. I'm your host, Natasha Brox, and I'm thrilled to have my APD, Ilana Mayer, with me today on the podcast to talk about women in medicine. As you know, that this podcast is dedicated to the admins in GME. So let's start off with giving a little background about you.
Hi, Natasha. Thank you so much for having me. It's so good to be here. I'm honored. My name is Ilana Mayer Hirschfeld. I'm the Associate Program Director for the Abrazo Emergency Medicine Residency Program. And as part of my role, one of my favorite things is that I get to lead the Women in Medicine group.
Yes. And that women in medicine, oh my God, I love it so much. And sometimes I wish that we could have it, like closer, like maybe once a month or once every other month. I wish we could have it more because every time we do something, I enjoy it so much. And it's
It is.
educational at the same time. So
Yeah.
that's what I like about it. And most admins in GME are women. So they work in the GME. We do have some men, but since we're talking about women in medicine, most of them are women. And let's go over, like, since this is part of medicine, GME is part of medicine. And I know our women in medicine is not like a committee. We don't call it a committee. But let's just go over, like, what you think about it. How, we said that it's not just for MDs or DOs or PAs, but literally for everyone. So let's just talk about that, like what we do when we come together, and just the, little special things that we do.
So we try to keep it like very fun and uplifting just because we all have busy lives. We all have so much to do, especially people working in GME as well as residents and doctors. So we want to make sure it's something enjoyable that everyone wants to take a part in. So the first thing I decided was that unless there's like serious issues that need to be discussed in a professional manner, we don't really have many meetings. I think we all have enough meetings in our life, so we just skip the meetings.
Right.
And so the first thing I did is I created like a text chat group for all the women in our program, including Natasha Brox, of course, because you're a coordinator and you're an integral part of our program. And it just creates a space where we can easily all communicate as a group. And we use that in order to plan whatever events we want to have for the group, or if there's any issues, it's a good, easy way for anyone in the program to bring them up. And also a place to just like share uplifting messages and support each other.
Yeah.
Um,
And I do like the chat group because even if like someone is thinking about something, maybe for the next time we meet, or has a question or issue, or just wants to say something, it's like it's our own little personal female chat. Like we can talk about if we wanted to, like, anything that's maybe embarrassing if guys are there, we could just talk about like who was it when they asked about was it intro vitro?
Yeah, so we actually had a resident who was interested in looking into potentially doing IVF. And so it turned out, she asked about it in the group, and it turned out there was a resident who had already done it. So that created really nice connection because they could ask each other what the process is like, and how to access it. And it turned out the resident who did it through the residency's health insurance. So she had all the information of what's covered and what's not covered. And out of that came the idea of having a meeting where we actually had a reproductive endocrinologist come to dinner with the group, and everyone got to ask her literally hundreds of questions about IVF. And a lot of residents were interested. And I think the reason this was such a success was that it came out of like a legitimate concern and legitimate
Right. Right. And that's what I like about it, because it doesn't have to be anything like, okay, we're going to do this, and this. It's just like, what about this? And what about this? Or I'm trying to do this. Or have you heard about this? And then it's like, bring it all comes to light. And that's
Yeah.
what the women, like we are in medicine, especially like you guys, you're in medicine. And it's like, we are all women. We all face the same things or
Yeah.
something different that somebody else can learn from.
Yeah, definitely. And you never know because like different residents in different groups may have different concerns
Mhm.
from like being able to like breastfeed feed while on shift to like the IVF, or whether like women are getting treated differently or just need a little extra support. So
Right.
it's nice because we can kind of tailor what the group does to whatever the needs are.
Right. And I know at our last one we were talking about that, like how women are being treated, in medicine or on different shifts. And I was like, well, that happens in GME too. Like, when we go to
Yeah.
different meetings and stuff like that, we're not treated the same. So just
Yeah.
even talking about that with cohorts is like something
Yeah.
that we need, to bounce off each other.
Yeah, and we all have different strategies because it's always difficult to walk into a meeting and realize you're the only woman in the entire room. And like there's been studies done, we get interrupted much more often. And we've all come up with our own coping strategies that we can all share with each other.
Mhm.
And or even just knowing you're not alone and it's not you and it happens to everyone can make it feel a lot more bearable.
Yeah, I think that's one reason why I do like the women in medicine, because it's like, only a woman knows what a woman is going through. Like you said
Yeah.
about going into a meeting. I remember going into a meeting and it was like, okay, so you're going to take notes? I'm like, no, I'm not taking notes. Like, I'm not here to take notes.
Like, why aren't you taking notes?
Exactly. Like, well, you didn't bring your secretary to take notes. Like, I'm not taking notes. It's not what I'm here for. I'm here to, you know,
That's terrible.
yeah. So it's like, oh,
That like people don't even realize that their underlying biases. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And I was great. I was thankful to hear, um, you guys talk about that you go through the same thing of, you know, just because you're a woman, you're still treated, even though you're a doctor, you are still treated the same way.
Yeah, it's tough. And it's really hard to address because a lot of it is like really microaggressions. That it's just so little that you're not gonna, report someone, you're not gonna but even so it's impossible to fix everything, but at least if there was something egregious that was like obviously not right, we have like an avenue for reporting and addressing problems. And so far there hasn't been anything too crazy, fortunately though.
Right, right. And then just having that listening ear. You know,
Yeah.
you go to somebody and be like, this is what happened to me today, you know,
Yeah.
and then give you another way to handle it, or, you know,
Yeah.
just to get it off
Yeah.
your chest, where, you know, a man would be like, what's wrong with that? You know, like,
Yeah. Like maybe they just thought you were a good note taker. It's a coincidence, you know?
exactly, exactly. I'm like, no, that's not what
That's
we.
not what it was. Yeah, definitely not.
Oh my goodness. And you know, I also like the fact that even though, you know, we talk about the serious things, we also do something fun, like that cool spot we went to.
That was the best. Yeah, two of the first year residents came up with the idea of going to like a plant boutique, and we all got to plant like little cactuses with like colorful sand. It was super creative and a lot of fun. I
Yes.
think all the boys were pretty jealous.
I know, I like that. I like that. So it's not like anything that we do that's going to be all about work or, you know, serious. We also have that, you know, that wellness built into it as well,
Yeah,
to make sure
yeah,
that we are having fun.
yeah. I think it's nice to keep it nice and light, and it like so you have that support system, but again, it's not just an extra meeting to go to. It's like something you'd actually want to do in your free time.
Right.
Um,
Right. It's like getting together with the girls, literally.
exactly.
Get together with
Yeah,
the girls, and we had a little wine, we had cheese. It was nice.
yeah.
And we
It
had
was.
fun
It was.
all at the same time. That's what I like about it too.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice.
And we're
Um,
always learning something too.
Yeah. And the next thing is I think I'm going to create like a leadership role for the first or second year residents to be kind of like the women in medicine champions, just to like give them a little bit like a more formal role to like empower them early on in their training. And also to because I want to make sure all the events don't just come from like my ideas, that they come from everyone else as well, because so that way it'll be relevant to everyone that's involved.
Right. And then they can grow, because if they're interns and they still have the second year and the third year, and they can
Yeah.
continue to grow and add things. And then the other, you know, interns coming in can see how everything is done and take that role, you know, once they graduate out. That'll be really nice.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. We have two amazing interns right now anyway. So
Yeah, they're strong leaders, regardless. Yeah.
yes, and I love how they plan things and look into
Yeah.
new ideas that
Yeah. I wonder what they're gonna come up with for next semester. I think, yeah, they're actually organizing the cookie decorating for our Christmas conference. That'll be really fun. And for once one will include the boys. They always complain that they don't get invited, but I mean they can form their own group if they want. But
exactly
for everyone.
exactly, like, this is for women, not men. Men have a lot of things. Let us have our own little thing. You can
Yeah.
get some cookies though. You can get some,
They can have their own cookies.
they can get some cookies. Yeah, I like that. I like that that we have the women in medicine, and like it's really for us, and we get to do it how we want to do it, when we want to do it, you know, and not have any influence in from anybody but the girls. And then it's a
Yeah,
good bonding experience for us all too. It brings us closer together.
it does. Yeah, yeah, it does. And if hopefully nothing like horrendous will ever happen, like that's like very discriminatory or demeaning, but if it did, we have that structure built in, and we have like that support system built up, so we could all like meet together and be like, okay, this is we take like a stand together as a group and be stronger
Right.
together. Hopefully that'll never
Exactly.
happen, but I think it's good to prevent to have
Yeah,
something in place in
I didn't think
case.
about that, but you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that is meaningful and that's something that we really need. Um,
Yeah.
wow, I didn't think about that, but you are right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. So far, I think we have actually are fortunate to work in like a pretty supportive environment where like I think we all feel pretty comfortable and supported, and we're lucky to have such a good team, both the men and the women.
Yeah.
But you can always use some extra support.
Yeah, that is true. Especially within the institution that you work with, in the program that you work with. And then you have like that ally, that added ally, that if you're on shift together, you could be like, okay, I need to talk to you. You don't have to wait, for a particular time. It's good to have that ally, that person that you work with constantly, where you could just grab them right then and there and say, look, I need to talk to you.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you don't have to wait or be like, can I schedule something with you? You could be
Yeah.
like, we need to
Yeah.
talk right now.
Yeah. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I need to like talk to what happened today. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. You could just get
Yeah.
it off your chest. And then, it's not going to go anywhere. It's like, I need to talk to you. Help me out with this. What do you think?
It keeps freezing.
Yeah, it's probably saying you guys, you've already had a long day. So,
Started off so strong. Yeah.
oh my goodness. But I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast today and
Really.
giving us your insight on, women in medicine.
Yeah, yeah, and it's always so invaluable to have you at our meetings. I think because the residents know you're such a strong part of the leadership of the program, and so it's really good for them to be able to have their voices heard by you as well, and have you as like as a supporter.
Yes,
We
thank
we're
you.
always thankful.
Thank you. Thank you. And with that, we conclude another enlightening episode of GME Admin Insights. But remember that your dedication keeps the gears of GME turning. So until next time, GME community, I will bid you a bid well. Thank you. Bye.